What they just captured in South America terrifies the whole world. While South America's fascination resides in its enthralling history and awe-inspiring vistas, there is an enigmatic secret lurking beneath its surface. A mystery that has stayed hidden for generations and is now ready to be revealed. An untold story, a hidden realm of wonders and marvels that have avoided humanity's wandering gaze, is buried beneath the continent's ancient soil. Prepare to go on a journey of discovery as we reveal South America's hidden wonders, a tribute to its enduring tenacity and limitless power to awe. So without any further delay, let's get started. On the same plateau that the well-known Nazca Lines are located, the Pisco Valley is home to another natural wonder that doesn't get nearly as much attention. An uneven surface that extends for miles has been covered with a band of shallow holes that have been bored into the rock. There are thousands of these holes, each one measuring 1 meter across and going as deep as 2 meters. The fact that they've been cut into the rock of a mountain indicates that a significant amount of toil was required to create them. There is no obvious structure to the holes. Some of them are aligned in a line, while others are just randomly scattered around the rock's surface. The fact that these strange carvings were carved by humans is the only thing that can be established with absolute certainty regarding them. It is unknown what their purpose was or who was responsible for their creation. Recent research has suggested that the holes could represent the relics of an ancient taxation system used by the Inca civilization. Other hypotheses include the use of path marks, food, and water-gathering locations, as well as vertical burials. At the beginning of the 1970s, a professor from the University of the Andes was seen mingling with other individuals as he made his way across the parking lot of the university to his vehicle. Before opening the door and getting into the driver's seat, he gave a group of students a wave and smiled at them. The vehicle stayed in its previous position. When people went to investigate after some time had passed, they were taken aback to see that the car was vacant. After the witnesses saw the man get inside the automobile, the police got confirmation from the witnesses that the car did not drive away after that. Even to this day, the professor has not been located. When the professor opened the door to the automobile, they say he stepped through a portal into another world, which then pulled him into another dimension. And this is the explanation that has gained the most traction concerning his unexplained disappearance. 2015 was the year that scientific publications reported finding proof of perpetual inflation. This essentially indicates that other universes, along with our own, are always moving closer to and further away from one another, while the space that exists between them continues to expand. In turn, this is said to have the potential to show the existence of parallel worlds in the scientific community. However, when looking back at the enigma surrounding the professor without a name, it appears that parallel worlds might have been the fact the whole time. An island with a unique character may be found in the Piranha Delta, which is located close to the northeastern part of Argentina. The island is a nearly perfect circle of land that has been given the name the Eye. It is encircled by an equally round and thin circle of water. In comparison to the temperature of the water in the surrounding bodies of water, this body of water is exceptionally pure water that is also quite frigid. According to reports, the diameter of the island measures 130 yards across the circumference of its outer circle. On top of everything else that's unusual about the island, it also appears to gently rotate around its axis. The initial photographs of it were taken in 2003, and using the slider tool on Google Earth reveals quite clearly that the circle of land that it is positioned in has shifted around within the hole in which it is located. The majority of people think that the island's design is too perfect for it to be a natural formation. But if it was created by humans, then what is the point of having it there? The island is said to be hiding an alien base beneath its surface, which is one of the many prevalent theories, and it is the one that has gained the greatest popularity. A documentary filmmaker is currently working on a project that will seek funds through crowdsourcing to provide scientists and other specialists the opportunity to investigate the phenomenon and, maybe, find an explanation for the riddle. Mrs. Betty Steifen and her child's bodies have been deposited somewhere within these walls, said the voiceover. She was Alex B. Steifen's cherished wife throughout their marriage. To the end of his days, he will be saddened by her passing, which took place on the 25th day of November in the year 1783, when she was 23 years old. The most astonishing thing about her was that she was a mother without being aware of it, and a wife without letting her husband know that she was a wife in any way other than by being patient and kind to him. The above is an inscription that can be seen on a tombstone in Plymouth, which is located in Tobago. This inscription has not been deciphered, and as a result, numerous theories have been proposed, each one more outlandish than the last. One of the most widely held beliefs is that when Betty was younger, she seduced the man she loved and convinced him to marry her by giving him so much drink that he was unaware of what was transpiring around him. This is one of the more prevalent ideas. Then, shortly after she became pregnant, she was ill, and she delivered the baby while she was unconscious. Another outlandish theory proposes that Alex had an illegal connection with a black female slave, and that the inscription was intended to hide the facts about this relationship from the public. The hypothesis that Betty gave birth to 4 children while she was unconscious and completely unaware of the situation may be the wildest one. This is why the inscription "Mother," without knowing it, is included on the grave marker. It serves as a cemetery for locomotives and trains, and it's so large that it gives the impression that all the trains in South America have been relocated to Uyuni, Bolivia, where they will make their final run. The distance to the Uyuni train station is only 3 kilometers. The Great Train Graveyard is located on the otherwise abandoned outskirts of Uyuni, a small trading settlement high in the Andean plain. It is filled with hollowed-out bodies that have rusted over and other remains. In South America, Uyuni is well known for being a significant transportation hub that connects numerous large cities. Big plans to expand the railroad network operating out of Uyuni were developed in the early 19th century, but the project was shelved due to a combination of technical issues and hostility with the surrounding nations. The trains and other machinery were abandoned, rusting away into obscurity. Visitors frequently climb on or enter railway cars to take pictures because there are no restrictions on how close they may go to the trains. Archaeologists have uncovered a discovery in Amapa, which is located in the northern part of Brazil, that does not exactly fit in with what they have learned about the Amazon so far. On the summit of a hill, there's a formation that protrudes from the ground consisting of 127 large stones that are extremely heavy. It was commonly thought that there had never been any advanced societies living in the Amazon region before the arrival of European colonists. The fact that these stones were found arranged in a manner that was comparable to that of the stones at Stonehenge disproves this theory. Archaeologists are under the impression that the stones collectively make up either a solar calendar or an observatory because of the even distances that exist between each stone and the fact that each stone stands straight. This would suggest that the Amazonians were capable of determining their agricultural cycles by studying the moon cycles and star patterns in the sky. The discovery of shards of antique pottery at this location provides evidence that the location has been inhabited for at least 2,000 years. All the foregoing, however, should be taken with a grain of salt at this stage because additional research is required to establish the actual function of the structure that has been nicknamed the Amazonian Stonehenge. Keith Davis, a fisheries observer, boarded the MV Victoria No. 168 in August of 2015, which was a tuna transshipment vessel with crew members from both Taiwan and China. At the end of the 5th week of the journey, the ship was located a little more than 500 miles from Peru and was receiving tuna from another ship. Davis was positioned on the deck where he could see the transfer. After 10 minutes, he was asked to sign a declaration to the crew, but Davis could not be located at any time during that period. After a wait of 4 hours, the captain of Victoria gave the order to search the water in the nearby area. Several additional vessels helped the search, but after 72 hours, it was called off because no sign of Davis could be found. The observer left his life jacket and survival suit inside his cabin where they remained untouched. There's still a lot of uncertainty around what happened to Keith Davis in the end. Earlier, he had a conversation with his close pals in which he discussed anarchy at sea and crimes that go unpunished. At one point, he showed them a video that showed 4 men being murdered in cold blood while their killers posed for selfies on a fishing vessel. He shared this footage with them, but however, the final email that Davis sent to his father did not raise any red flags that things were not as they should be, which further complicates the investigation into what might have happened to the young man. On January 4, 2013, a tiny plane carrying fashion mogul Vittorio Missoni, his wife, and 4 other people vanished while en route from Los Roques to the airport outside of Caracas. When the authorities were unsuccessful in their search for the debris, stories of a curse known as Los Roques began to spread. Before the disappearance of this particular aircraft, there had been over 15 reports of other small planes encountering difficulty, crashing, or even going missing while flying the same route or in the same region as this particular aircraft. In one incident, a plane that was carrying 14 people crashed into the ocean. Only one of the passengers' bodies was found. The remains of the wreckage were never located. Naturally, people began to reject rational explanations such as human mistakes and natural calamities, and instead focus on conspiracy theories such as the parallels that these disappearances had with other locations such as the Bermuda Triangle and the Devil's Sea and other locations. The remains of the jet that had been piloted by Missoni were found by the authorities 6 months after it had fallen off the coast of Key Carnero. And even though it was alleged that the bodies had also been located, reports published a year later stated that all the remains had been found except for Missoni himself. On August 2, 1947, yet another mysterious event involving an airplane took place. On this unfortunate day, a British South American Airways airplane dubbed Stardust, carrying 6 passengers and 5 crew members, died in a crash while en route from Buenos Aires to Santiago. The accident occurred during the flight, and for the next half-century and a half, nobody knew what happened to the airplane or the people who were on board. The accident, as is customary in these situations, was attributed to extraterrestrials, espionage, sabotage, and so on, particularly considering that the event took place amid a period of political upheaval in South American countries. The following year, mountaineers discovered a piece of wreckage on a glacier located approximately 50 miles east of Santiago. The subsequent recovery attempt was delayed because of an ice storm, but eventually, in the year 2000, a crew of mountaineers arrived at the spot. The investigation revealed that it was likely that Stardust flew into bad weather, navigated its way out of it, and then communicated to the pilot that he would be landing the plane in about 4 minutes. After that, the radio operator sent a message to the receiving operator in Santiago by tapping out the letters STENDEC. After then, the Stardust wound to crash into the Tupungato Glacier, taking the lives of everyone on the board. There is no clear explanation for what STENDEC means. In addition to the chambers, citadels, and other structures that can be discovered within the Sacsayhuaman ruins, one animal in particular has captured the attention of both explorers and builders alike: a gigantic granite boulder that has stairs carved in the opposite direction on the top half of its surface. Experts speculate that the boulder may have been a component of another construction that was demolished as a result of an earthquake or another natural disaster, which resulted in the rock landing with its flat side facing up. Others hold the opinion that another power may have been responsible for twisting the enormous stone so that the stairs now lead nowhere in particular. It's also unknown what kind of technology the builders of Sacsayhuaman had available to enable them to hoist enormous granite boulders into place, nor is it known what the purpose of these stairs that appear to be erected in the wrong direction. According to one hypothesis, these enormous rocks would have needed to be dragged with the assistance of a ramp before being put upon a pile of logs. The logs would then have been removed one at a time to gradually position the rocks where they needed to be. This would have been necessary to lift the rocks. Scientists have spent a significant amount of time and effort over many years attempting to unravel the enigma that surrounds the location of the lost metropolis of Atlantis. Scientists now believe that they may have found a glimmer of evidence that not only did Atlantis exist, but that it may have also been a part of Bolivia at one point in time. Although Atlantis is commonly told as a fantastic tale around the world, scientists now feel that they may have unearthed this evidence. This novel hypothesis originates from the discovery of several ancient paintings of twins in the Andes, some of which were human twins and others of which were animal twins. In and of itself, this might not be the most exciting item, but when viewed in the context of the myth of the Great Flood and the many different retellings of its story, it takes on a more intriguing quality. According to one version of the story that is told in Bolivia, the gods were responsible for the destruction of a city that was situated on the shore of a lake through the use of earthquakes and floods. After then, Tunupa, the chief of the gods, dove beneath the surface of the lake and was never seen again. According to yet another version of the tale, Tunupa was said to have perished in the Pampa Aliagas highlands instead. Pampa Ayagas is the location that several scientists believe to have been the former home of the civilization of Atlantis. According to Greek mythology, Poseidon and Cleito had 10 sets of twins that eventually ruled 10 different provinces. These 10 kingdoms combined to form the legendary continent of Atlantis. The tale of these identical twins can also be found in Bolivian folklore. After the flood, 2 brothers lived through it, but afterward, one of them perished while swimming in a lake. The lone surviving brother took both of the women he and his sibling had a romantic interest in and married one of them while keeping the other as his mistress. He had a son with each of his 5 wives. It has been hypothesized that this Bolivian fable has some connection to its Greek equivalent. It is believed that the traditions of the twins may have originated from Bolivia, which may suggest that Bolivia was once a part of the ancient civilization of Atlantis. That's it for today's video, but we'll be right back soon. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel, and thanks for watching.